Fellas, it is happening again. Welcome back to Project Geekology, episode 148. Guys, we are covering the second season of Twin Peaks, or at least the first 9 episodes of the second season. We have a lot to cover. It is one of the most whirlwind 9 episodes probably ever. And Rich is already fuming. I can see the fumes coming from his ears and nostrils. He's like a dragon right now, just shaking his head. But yes, Twin Peaks, very classic show. Finally covering it here on Project Geekology. If you missed our last episode, we covered the first season, and now we're diving into season 2. My name is Dakota. I'm one of the 3 hosts here at Project Geekology, and I'm joined as always with
Anthony. And man, I woke up from a nap and, Lurch was in my dreams.
Just standing over you, right?
Just standing over. I handed him my ring. So, we'll see how that plays out. But yes, I am Anthony, and joining us as always is
the angriest man on the show this week, I think. I'm just waiting. Hi, everyone. It's Rich. Nice of you guys to join us. This is probably the last time you're going to hear me talk in a calm and collected manner. I have been on the show for months with these gentlemen. I had a great time. Not once has my wife ever come inside and said, "Were you angry? Why were you yelling at them?" That happened last week. I think it's going to get worse this week. And we are joined this week by a very special guest, and that is...
I'm Jen. I'm Dakota's wife. And I'm happy to be back.
Welcome back. Yeah, it's been a very long time since we had you on the podcast last.
Yeah, we've been begging to have Jen back. The listeners have been begging for Jen. She hasn't been on for good reasons, but she is back.
After a 1-week absence, you've returned.
She's back.
Can you guys put the soundbite of Leland singing that song? Bears eat does and does eat oats and little lambs eat ivy, and then he goes, "I'm back."
So...
I'm not going to do that, but I will. I will play that sound recording of you singing that because it actually sounds very close to Leland's.
Thank
did
you.
A very good inflection of Leland.
Yes, thanks. I worked hard on that.
We're keeping it in.
Yeah. So Jen, while we have you, what have you been up to this past week? Anything fun?
Well, funnily enough, you and I were just on our couch watching Smallville, an episode that made me very mad. This is my first time ever watching Smallville. And I don't want to spoil anything.
Oh, please.
No, it's not your first time watching Smallville, but it's the first time watching up to this point in Smallville,
yeah.
correct?
Where are we at?
We're mid-season 5.
Yeah. So some stuff just happened, and
all right, let's just be honest here. The viewing audience, if they haven't seen Smallville, you missed that boat. We had a whole episode about the first one. I watched all 10 seasons. We need more Smallville content. Could you please just tell us what episode you're on so I can get angry at Lana again?
Oh, actually, this is a good episode to probably get angry at.
Yeah, I was actually really annoyed with Lana.
We're not going to spoil the whole episode, but it is the episode where Jonathan Kent has a heart attack and dies.
Yeah, so I want to know what was on that picture Lionel Luthor showed him. But also it's so annoying because literally, he plans a date and then he clearly cancels it. And she has no idea why, but she's like, "I need a break from this." If Dakota was "Come over, let's have a date," and then he was like, "Oh, I don't know, I changed my mind," I wouldn't immediately be like, "This is over."
No, but Clark is someone who is notorious for doing this, where he just is on the edge of telling you something and says, "Actually, it was nothing."
Yeah, I guess.
And everybody knows he's not normal because he just shows up at places. He just leaves when people are
we call that in Queens. We call that an Irish goodbye, and it's not a big deal. All right?
With him, it's Irish hellos too, because he just pops.
Yeah, I was gonna say his are Irish hellos because he shows up unannounced.
I always laugh at Smallville because 9 episodes out of 10. They show up at the hospital. They are in the hospital more than any other people, more than the workers of that town are in the hospital.
I can't even argue that is so. They're in that and they have unfettered access to all part. Like they almost, I think in 10 seasons, they were stopped by like 4 orderlies that are just very kindly like, what are you doing? And then like they're allowed to, oh, you want to take drugs? It doesn't matter. They do whatever they want.
He has tenure at the hospital.
Yeah,
He's there for people that like he just doesn't even know.
Not just tenure, he has 10 years at the hospital.
Literally.
Anthony, let's throw it over to you. What have you been up to this week?
I have not been watching Smallville. I did actually go back in time and watched a show, or I started watching a show that I know you know very well, Dakota. Samurai Jack.
Oh.
Nice.
The theme song started playing in my head as soon as you
Right?
said that.
You know, like going back and watching Samurai Jack, there were a couple things that like I realized that, I mean, and the first one's obvious, but it's like very mature, like for a show, like for its audience. And I think that's why, like, when they went back and they brought it back in 2017 to finish off the story, they put it on Adult Swim. So that was obviously like for the people that grew up with that show. But like a lot is done and not much is said. Like he won't say anything. It's just all action and sounds and music.
Yeah, no, it's such a cool show. He's such a stoic character. I haven't watched the 2017 season, so I don't know if it's good or not. I've heard people liked it, but yeah, I don't know.
Right. Yeah, I never got to that, but I had thought about it the other day and I was like, you know what? I kind of want to finish that story off because I know that he does end up going back to the past, obviously, but I never got to finish it. So I'm watching through that now. I've been enjoying it. It's really good. You know, I was like, man, like this is even better. Like I appreciate it more now as an adult because I understand more, but I'm like, this show is even better than I thought it was. Yeah, I've been enjoying that. It's always fun to go back.
Time jumping show.
What happened?
It's a good time jumping show because they jump around between time periods and everything is just so stylized. That's really cool. Anyway.
Yeah, and I like how they have like there's like an explanation to why there's like aliens on Earth and just his reactions to like talking dogs and stuff. It's really good, man. It's been a good time travel show in general and just time travel back to my childhood. So yeah, it's been fun.
So we watched a time traveling episode of Smallville. You watched a time traveling show. Rich, how has your traversal of time been this week?
I'm sorry to say, I don't know if I did travel to the still world in Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. I've been carrying, I'm going to call it my Switch now. It's my Switch, all right? Screw you, Charlie. Fair. He upgraded. I'm really loving it. At first, I kind of hated it, but really rewarding puzzles where I don't, you know how there are some games, well, I don't know about you guys, but the way I game, I'll try with the puzzle, I'll try, and then I'll give it a good while before I look anything up. What I like about Echoes of Wisdom is it pushes you enough to the point where like you get frustrated and then you see it and you're like, and it's really,
so it doesn't like force you to look.
Yeah, so it's really rewarding. It's got like that level of challenge, but it's not like, I swear in Fallout, it's like, all right, go to the third urinal at the carnival and that's where a magazine is hiding that you might need. Like that stuff is not intuitive where I feel like Echoes of Wisdom is. And I just love the art style. The Switch one I think is still a really great device. So I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'm enjoying actually going from handheld to TV to handheld, which is something that I kind of yelled at Charlie about a little bit, was like, I didn't understand doing handheld when you have a TV. I kind of get it a little bit, but I'll still like even unplug. I'll have it handheld and bring the controller and just set up the little screen and play that way for no apparent reason. So I'm having a lot of fun with that, and I think it's been good.
There's something nice about like the tactile screen in your hand.
Yeah.
You know, it's just there is something to it that like I miss from like the Game Boy days. But yeah, that's cool.
In terms of watching, I really enjoyed Stranger Things episode 10. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet. I know I spoke about episode 9 last week. Episode 10 is crazy. So
that was the second secret ending, right? Like the third finale, but second secret finale.
Yeah, man, it was pretty crazy.
Was it better than the first finale that they were like secretly tried to
episode 8,
because
I know Fugazi finale. Yeah, no, I think it was better than that. Yeah,
no, but episode 9, people didn't like that one either.
Yeah, I mean, there was something missing. I heard that the Duffers used ChatGPT or something, according to a documentary. So, just missing the boat there.
So episode 10, they actually wrote it, and it was better.
Did his wife come back?
It's gonna be so good. All jokes aside,
episode 10, their marriage reunited, and then the show didn't suck.
I guess I'm excited about Fallout tonight. Before we got on the show, I actually saw Walter Goggins post a video about episode 5 in particular, and he's like, "Y'all got to check this out." And I'm like, "Man, I've already been checking it out." So when he said something happens in this episode that he said when in the table read, how are we going to move forward from this?
I love Walton Goggins. He was in the 3rd season of White Lotus recently, and he was so good.
He was hilarious.
Oh man.
His character wasn't supposed to be funny, but I found so many of his scenes hilarious.
No, there was some scenes that were absolutely supposed to be funny. There was absolutely.
I don't know.
The scene where he was just looking at the person across
with
the dinner
his
table.
Friend. That's the scene I was talking about. He's just staring at him.
That's
just
definitely.
He has a scene where he barely speaks, and it's just his friend talking, and it's his reactions are the funniest thing you'll ever see.
But
when we get off, I'm definitely gonna be
you're just
watching that, and then other than your new do, what have you had going on this week, Dakota?
This week, yesterday, as of recording, the 3rd Harry Potter full cast audio came out, Prisoner of Azkaban. I started listening to that. Very good production quality. I'm really pleased with certain directions that they took this time around. So a lot of times I notice actors like to almost kind of go off of the way that the actors in the films portrayed those characters. And sometimes it's very similar. Like the kids in the books, because they're kids and they grew up on Harry Potter, they read the lines like Harry, Ron, and Hermione in the movies. And that kind of bothers me because there's not a whole lot of variation there. But some of the older actors do it totally different. I don't know who they have playing Trelawney for the 3rd book, but that sequence was so good because it was a totally different. It wasn't see with your inner eye.
Oh, so it was less
it wasn't like
hysterical.
that. It was, but in a different way. It was still over the top, but it was just totally. It's really well done. Same with Lupin. I think it's a very subtle but powerful performance. I'm really enjoying it so far. So yeah.
Oh, I didn't tell you guys, by the way. I got to see my uncle this week. I don't know if you've seen your uncle lately, Dakota, but
I actually cannot see the image. Oh, Mr. Bush.
Me and my uncle. I'm not sure if you guys know this, but George W. Bush is my uncle. Dakota, do you have a famous uncle by any chance?
I don't. I have one of my uncles is no longer in the family. The other uncle's not mentally all there.
Oh.
Dakota, he's talking about that picture with Bill Clinton.
Yeah, no, I know where he was going. Yeah, so I do have.
Wait, go get it to show them really quick.
Right.
Yes.
We're 16 minutes into the podcast, haven't talked about Twin Peaks.
Dakota Laura takes precedence, okay? Takes precedence
This is the picture.
with presidents. Look at that. Ladies and gentlemen, you may not be able to see this.
I met him one time in a bath, right outside a bathroom in Starbucks in somewhere in New York. I forget the town. But anyway, it was just really funny. I had to
think it was Briarcliff.
I thought you were in a small private airplane that you met him? No? All right.
Yeah, guys, Dakota's one handshake away from the Epstein Island. Just thought you all should know. So
I've never seen Anthony's eyes so wide.
you stole my headphone.
I didn't know that when I took that photo. That was I want to say that was 2019. Yeah.
So Dakota, I have an answer to your question.
Oh, I have a question? Or...
Well, it wasn't a question. It was more of like a pondering. That you're like, you didn't know who did the voice of Trelawney?
Yes.
It's actually your girl from... One of the girls from Dairy Girls.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah.
Which
Is it the
One of the main girls,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Erin.
Oh, Erin. Yeah, she's the main girl.
Oh, okay. I can totally picture that now. That's amazing.
The main girl of the three
That's
main
awesome.
girls.
She does
actually
such a
love
good
her.
job. Yeah, no, she's such a great Trelawney. Okay, cool.
I did not know that. That's exciting. I'm still in Chamber of Secrets, so I gotta work my way up.
You gotta listen. Anyway, let's jump into our topic of discussion today because we have a lot to cover. We left last week with Audrey had left a note under the door of Cooper's bedroom, basically saying a clue as to where she was going to be located for who knows how long. And then he gets shot. And then that's how the season ends, with Cooper being shot. What are our thoughts on his waking? Let's start.
I was in such a good mood and we had to start talking about this damn show. You want me to start? I'm going to start, okay? Because I don't have a problem with someone getting shot and the season ending, okay? But for 7 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, nobody in the world knows what was happening. This man was shot, and this old man comes into the room easily 17 times, signing a bill, thumbs up. I don't understand. The man is bleeding out. He's the most polite dude in the world. I had to pause the episode because I just was so angry. And I started messaging you guys right away. Like, I didn't understand what was going on. Why? Okay, here's my... And I think that this will lead into every other gripe I have for the rest of the episode. I started teaching Macbeth today. And very quickly, the witches show up, and I look at the kids and I go, we are in a world where we accept that this is real, right? We've been introduced. Hey, this is weird. This is out of the ordinary. This is part of our world. Hey, Star Wars, there's the Force. This is part of our world. Accept it, right? So then when things happen later, you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing that happens in the first season at all that prepares you for season 2. There's nothing other than the eye patch. Maybe. The giant? Is the giant the old guy? Why are they dressed the same? Where's the old man going later in the season when he just gets picked up on the road? I'll let someone else go.
He said something was happening, and he hitched a ride.
I don't believe him. Do you believe him? His head is disconnected. There's a man bleeding, and he gets the check signed and doesn't do anything else about it. But Cooper survives. He survives people.
That's actually very good criticism, and I actually really appreciate you bringing Macbeth and the way that you teach that and like trying to apply that to a show where you assume, you know, the Chekhov's gun argument, you know, like you see a gun that's going to be fired later, but Twin Peaks does not play by those rules.
The horse. What? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, God bless you. You are lucky. Okay? But I'm sitting here and I look over and I see a horse. Just unexplained. A white stallion in the middle of a living room.
Oh, in a living room.
Rick took a picture of it and like sent it to me and goes, "This is your fault." Because it's my fault that we're covering Twin Peaks on this podcast, and it's my fault that he has to watch this.
What did he say when he sent that to us?
He just said WTF.
Yeah.
With me, he was like, "This is your fault." And so Dakota and I were next to each other, and Dakota was like, "Look at what Rich said," and then I look at my phone. I'm like, "Look at what Rich said."
Well, there are different people. Just like Laura, like for Laura's murder, right? There's so many people involved that are at fault here. We can't even figure it out. But I think I'm Leo Johnson at the end of this thing. I'm just sitting there in a wheelchair, drooling. I have no idea what's going on anymore.
New shoes.
No shoes.
Oh.
Oh my gosh! I felt like this season just, even though it was a lot darker, there was just a lot.
I can tell Anthony liked something like a lot, by the way that he's reacting right now, and I could just see the pure joy in his discussion right now.
Because the part that he's flipping out at, like I laughed during that part. I'm like, what is going on right now? I was like, this old man, and then Cooper just like looks up at him like and gives him like a nice thumbs up.
Your milk's gonna get
The
cold.
show is crazy.
Oh, when you
I
hung
love
up the
how
phone?
insane this show is.
Oh, I hung the phone up for you. And it like took him forever to hang it up. And the guy's like, hello, can I speak to Coop? Are you there? And
Yeah.
he's just like, I can't get it on the receiver. I don't know.
Yeah.
then
Was
leaves
it
the
Dick Cooper
room.
was like he said to like call an ambulance, and he's like, "Did you call an ambulance?" He's like, "I hung up the phone." Bro, I was like, "Oh, this season's starting off interesting." Oh, man.
And then the giant shows up and gives him 3 riddles.
Yeah. Was it since that's the same actor that eventually goes and plays Lurch?
Yep.
I just call him Lurch.
Yeah, that's fine.
100% Lurch. You know what? I was actually okay with the giant. I'm going to give him 1, all right? Because I actually felt that his weird dream with dancing little guy and Laura, that gave me like an indication that he sees things. The only thing that I don't understand is the ring physically being gone.
Okay.
Because I think it makes sense. Like, he does seem to get inspiration from his weird dreams, and that's fine. But I don't, the physical nature of the ring being gone, and then why it's back. And is that Diane's ring? Give me answers. Who's Diane?
Yeah, it's Diane's ring.
Sorry.
I think with the ring being gone in that scene, that's just kind of meant to show Cooper that he wasn't hallucinating while he was bleeding out, basically. You know, this is something that he needs to actively pursue, and it's not just something that he dreamed up.
Yeah, it's a sign that this is real. And I think Cooper asks a question like, I think he asks who shot me, and the giant says the question is, where are you? So like he enters this like place that is somehow connected to the Black Lodge because he's close to death. And there's something about the old man that he can access that place as well. And then the old man is later drawn to the place where the giant shows up again.
Oh yeah, was it? I'm not entirely sure because there was a lot that happened. Did we find out who shot him?
We still don't know who shot.
Okay. I was gonna be like, did I miss out on that?
But
I was like,
I don't think the old man was like the
I'm
giant.
not saying that he's like him. I think he's like Log Lady, and he can perceive them.
Oh, I see. He kind of.
Or he's like drawn to like the magic.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Even though he's like really old at this point, and I think he is like senile, so he doesn't really know what's going on. But I think he's drawn to places where weird stuff's about to happen, and he just embraces it. And he's just like thumbs up.
You know, there's a character we didn't talk about at all last week, but I feel like it's kind of an important thing to talk about this season, and it's Maddie Ferguson, the cousin of Laura Palmer. We didn't mention her at all.
you mean Laura in a wig?
Yeah.
Why do you want my unbridled like raw thoughts? Like what
would love that.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure someone here on this show is gonna have an argument against me. My first thoughts were, what lazy casting. Are you joking me, David Lynch? Is what I thought in my head. Because at first I was like, that can't be her. It can't be. I did look it up, and my gut instinct was, this is ridiculous. Why would you have her play her cousin? Maybe her sister, but I mean, I don't know a lot of identical cousins that I don't know. I mean,
People thought they were sisters.
I mean, I don't.
So I had heard, I should like fact check myself before. I guess we can cut this if I'm wrong, and I'll fact check myself after the podcast. But I had heard what had happened was after filming the pilot and like the earlier episodes, the actress who plays Laura Palmer got super famous, but none of the benefits of fame. So like because of her prom photo and like the picture of her like on the beach in the bag, people were like really recognizing her. So she got all of the drawbacks of fame, but she didn't get paid that much because she was only in the pilot. And it didn't give her a lot of work experience. And so I had heard or read that David Lynch felt bad about that and then brought her back onto the show to kind of give her more work so she can get like so she can actually financially and like experience-wise benefit from that like level of fame that she got out of nowhere. But again, I'll look that up and then we can cut this out if I'm wrong.
No, we're going to keep it in even if you're wrong, just because it's
so I look dumb.
No. That's just it's a long-held tradition that podcasts often give misinformation, and it's important that you never get rid of that misinformation. You can correct it later, but when it's said,
oh, you just keep
when
it.
It has, yeah, you have to just go full.
Tomorrow is actually the 1-year anniversary of David Lynch's death. Oh. R.I.P. David Lynch.
Wonder who it was.
More
that was crazy.
They're going to take us like 30 episodes to figure out who killed David Lynch. And now we're going to find out it's going to be an owl in a bow tie.
The owls are not what they seem.
Oh my gosh!
No, you didn't see that salamander in a tuxedo.
The owls are not what they seem. So
I was going to ask.
Yeah, go ahead.
How like thrown off were you guys by the fact that Leland was the killer?
And when did you figure it out? Like, at what point were you like, oh, he did it?
I feel like the first time, like, I realized he was, like, smacking, like, being Bob. Like, when I saw, like, the Bob face or whatever. I think that's... It's all so heavy. I think that's when I first started to figure... Like, I knew it before, like, you know, they were in the station or anything like that. And I knew it before he attacked Maddie. It's just when it hit me, at first I actually didn't believe that I was right. Because I was like, this is just... We did all this for her dad to be the killer? Like, what? It just felt... Part of it is, I guess we have to discuss Bob, no? I mean, I think that, like, we can't really move forward until all of us or share what we think Bob was. I don't know. So, Anthony, what do you think about Bob?
Yeah, Bob and Mike. They're like these like two like entities that kind of
they call them inhabiting spirits. That's the term that they use.
Okay.
So it's not like angels or demons, but it's like a parallel thing where they can inhabit bodies.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Like, it's odd, but I mean, I do feel like they start showing, that there's something nefarious going on with him, with some of his reactions, and just like he had some moments where it's just like evil laughter. I'm just like, okay, yeah, there's something going on. It's not right, It was Leland, but technically it wasn't Leland, right? It was just Leland's body doing the killing, but it was Bob doing that. Or
so it's hard to like rationalize what is being, what they're actually trying to say, because even the characters in the show, after they figure it out, can't really make heads or tails at the end. Like they're like, but it was Bob. And Cooper says, would you like to believe that over it being Leland? And
honestly, to tell you the truth, like I feel like this could have been like an interesting representation to DID, dissociative identity disorder, because like I think that there's some people who experience where like it's like a whole other personality takes over the body, and like the other personalities don't know like what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not one for like. Okay, I wasn't given enough leading up to this for me to fully believe at this point that it's any kind of possession, and I really just thought it was mental illness. That's kind of how it presented itself. I guess it's hard.
Kind of like a mask that he was putting on.
Yeah. I mean, like Anthony's saying with the DID, it follows the patterns of that kind of behavior, and the literal almost innocence of one of the personalities, right? Versus another one that's more villainish or whatever. I guess I have a hard time explaining why it's a shared persona. Maybe the end of the season gives me the other, I don't know, 10, whatever, the math that's left of the episodes to get to 22. Maybe I find out, maybe I see more along the lines of the season that leads me to believe that, but it almost feels like David Lynch just took lots of acid before like he wrote some of this season. Like he was only like high on weed on season 1. Season 2, he's just like, I'm gonna experiment, guys. He's like doing ayahuasca in a cave, in a dark cave with Brett Favre or whatever.
Yeah, except the scene behind Anthony with
the end of episode 3 or in season 1.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, there was the man, there I don't know what it was. There's a lot that like really like draws you in, like, man, like there's a lot of like intense things happening. And then like there's just things that happen that like I don't know, like I laughed.
You laughed?
Like with Leo, like the spitting in the new shoes, like I started laughing. Like I'm like I feel bad, like I know he's like disabled because he got shot, but like it was so ridiculous.
Yeah, and it's definitely played for humor.
I've never yelled
the guy
at Jen until today. And I'll tell you
What?
why I yelled at her. I yelled, Tajimaru! All right, or whatever that guy's name is. Because it just in the middle of that period.
Rich was like genuinely screaming, and I'm like, stop screaming at me.
What? That whole time I'm going, man, what's with that Fu Manchu? I'm like, how do you make an Asian person, like I literally thinking to myself, how do you make an Asian person look like a stereotype? Like they're already Asian. You don't need to do this, right? And I'm just every time on screen, I'm just like, so weird. And then suddenly Tojimaru pulls out painted toenails in the jail cell. I don't know what's happening. All right, I don't know what's happening anymore, man.
But you realize that it's Catherine
Yeah.
earlier than that.
Maybe you
because like she goes up to Pete and shows that she's alive.
You are correct, sir. I think that every
but
time...
I knew that it literally looked like somebody in disguise. Like I was like, okay, yeah, this is not that real person's face.
Yeah.
Turtle.
This is definitely a disguise.
The master of disguise.
The master of disguise, man.
She's the master of disguise.
I like how Ben Horn only has a foot fetish for her. Like, is it her foot fetish that he's catering to? Or it's just weird because there's so many scenes where he's just like kissing her feet.
Speaking of Ben Horn, there's that scene where Leland comes in singing and like they're having like a serious conversation, Ben and Jerry. And then all of a sudden, Ben and Jerry just start like dancing along with Leland's craziness. Like Ben gets on the table, he starts tap dancing.
Yes.
I have a feeling that was like improvised. I have a feeling he like walked in and started singing, and he didn't know how they were gonna react. Because when they start dancing, he like breaks character a little bit and like chuckles. Like he leans forward and laughs. But maybe that's just in my head.
Maybe that's part of the character. Yeah.
I just love the idea of him walking and singing, not knowing what's going to happen, and they just like completely lose it. Like when he just starts doing the worm.
Yeah, Bob is so giddy. Like just
He loves
because
life.
that was a Bob scene, basically.
absolutely. You can tell like the Bob scenes were like the show tune scenes.
I do appreciate that.
Now we have to decide if it was Bob when he's like, somebody dance with me. Like, was that Leland or was that Bob?
It had to be.
I think that was Leland.
That's Leland.
Bob he's wearing a Canadian. So if I'm correct, he's wearing a Canadian tuxedo, right? Like he wears like jean jacket and jeans, like that get up.
Yeah.
Like he's like some Canadian. Like, see, this is the other thing that like makes me. He just seems like a cool Canadian. Like that's what he looks like, right? And I'm just wondering if like Leland like went over the border once and I was like, man, that's a cool Canadian. Like I wish I was that cool. Look at his long hair and his Canadian tuxedo. I wish I sure was that swell. And then boom. Also, I don't speak this way on the show, and I know that we can't keep it clean. When Leland is talking about Bob and their first encounter, he's like, yeah, I was a little boy in the dream, and then I let him inside me. And it was very kind of like, whoa, what are you saying?
Yeah, word choice.
You know, and I don't understand.
doing phrasing?
Then it becomes they. Like, why does the pronoun change from him to them?
I actually noticed that too.
They want me to do this. So then who is they? Do we find out? Probably not.
I could answer
Probably
that.
not. David Lynch
No,
is
we
not going
have
to do that
we
for me.
have an answer to that. The answer is they were Bob and Mike. Bob and Mike used to kill together, but Mike basically, what did he say? He saw the face of God or something?
That's what he says, yeah.
And that he changed his ways, and now Bob is afraid of Mike. But they used to be like supervillains together, besties, and they are no longer friends. And Mike decided to start doing good. That's when he chopped off his arm. That's why he has one arm. All of this was in the show. It's just really hard to piece together.
You'll know when I go like my good person arc, because I will come back with only one arm.
That's gotta
When
be
I
really,
choose
like,
to be good,
You would have. It's counterintuitive because if I'm right-handed, right, I'm going to cut with my right, but I don't want to cut my right arm off. My left, you want to cut. I don't know. Got to be careful with what arm you cut off.
Yeah, it's true. Actually, yeah.
I didn't understand
really think about
that. I'll be honest with you guys. I did one watch. I normally do 17 watches. I'm sorry. This show made my brain bleed. So I watched the last 10 minutes of episode 9 4 times. 4 times. I'm just like, what? What? How does Leland's shirt get so paper thin when it's wet within 2 seconds of a sprinkler going on? The fact that they have no way to help him in a police station. I like the idea that if someone gets sick in a police station, it's like, see you later, buddy. There's no...
I like how Cooper guides him to his death. He's like, turn to the light.
And nobody stops him. Nobody's like, hey, maybe we should put this guy on trial, or he killed his daughter. And he sticks...
Can somebody get a med kit?
Yeah, I mean...
I think he was already gone by that point. There was no saving him. He was bleeding out. He broke his skull. But
I thought so. This morning was really funny because I was running late to work, which is really rare and never actually happens. But this day alone, I was running late to work, and I went into Rich's classroom and he was watching Twin Peaks. And I just put all my stuff down and I watched the last 10 minutes. And I'm watching this moment. And I'm like, oh look, Leland's going towards the light, and I could see Rich getting so angry. He just keeps looking at the screen mad. It was just such different reactions. I accept everything in the show. I just embrace it. I embrace the weirdness, and I'm just like, oh, here he goes towards the light.
Guys, I believe in the Force. I believe I accept witches. All right. I accept demogorgons. All right. Mind flayers, Vecnas. All right. All these things. Just that end when go to the light, and then he's like, I see it, and then he just died, and nobody in the room seems to maybe this isn't a great idea, we shouldn't tell someone to die, maybe he's just concussed and we can keep him alive. I don't know why everyone in that room, look, I get why Cooper did it, because my he's weird, Diane's probably God, that's who he's talking to this whole time, sending the tapes back to Diane, all right, so he's just explaining everything he does. I get it. But Harry, I know Harry's seen some stuff, but you're still a law enforcement officer, bro. Treat the wounded. I don't know, man. Get him out of that. There was just so many, man. And I just realized, what's Horsewoman gonna do? I gotta see if she saw a horse out of nowhere. What's she gonna do now when she finds out that Leland's dead and he killed the daughter? Or is Cooper gonna be like, it wasn't him, it was an unnamed Bob, and he got away? What does that mean? Sorry.
I like how the sheriff is named after a president.
Yeah, and there's a couple scenes where he's actually standing in front of a picture of Harry Truman, the president.
Oh my god.
There's a lot of naming conventions that are actually pretty funny in this show. We mentioned Ben and Jerry in the last episode being the ice cream duo, where they actually do eat a tub of ice cream together in one scene. There's another scene where in the first season, Cooper and Ed, they go to One Night Jack's, and the names that they give themselves are Barney and Fred.
Huh.
Yeah, it is Barney and Fred.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that going on in the show, but yeah.
What was going on with your girl Lucy? She was really having some invitation to love, love triangle babies, and your boy Andy is a whole village.
I'm so excited for you guys to watch the last season where you find out more about that baby. And I can't say any more than that, but one of the greatest scenes in all of television has to do with that baby. And it's one of the best things to ever happen to me personally. It's going to be a great time,
I just love how...
Is Rich going to love the show in the end?
I don't think so.
No, it's not going to recover?
No, I don't think there's anything we can do to get Rich. At this point, after a couple of episodes, I was like, oh, I love Twin Peaks. I love this. I'm obsessed with this. I think it's just your instincts, your gut reaction is how you're going to feel throughout the show.
I guess it's something that you're not going to experience anywhere else.
No.
You know? It's something that is entirely unique and well made, all things considered.
Okay. You know what it is? I think that my problem with this, and I think you guys are right, I may not get over it. I might just be more if I want to see more stuff with the eye patch. But I think that I dissect stories in a way just because I've been teaching for umpteen years, where like I want to be able to know it so well that I can then break it down and invite you into different parts of it. And I'm having a devil of a time with this one because I can't get the logic, right? Like when I think I understand the logic, it just, gives me
This
a thumbs
show,
up.
like you gotta stop thinking so hard. You just gotta go with the flow, man. Literally, you just gotta go with the flow. That's really like what my personality is I'm usually go with the flow. I mean, I like to plan stuff and I like to understand stuff, but I don't know, like maybe it's because some of the cartoons I grew up with was like absolutely bonkers and it kind of reminds me of cartoons, just the randomness. But I don't know, it's there's a lot that I just like it. Like, it like it does draw you in. There's some stuff that'll make you chuckle, like what's up with Nadine? Like Nadine is now a high school cheerleader with like super strength.
I just saw the life leave Rich's face as
When
you said
she
those words.
okay, the super strength. Okay, hold up. All right, I can't do it on camera. I don't think, but like she just like I jumped on a couch. Look how spry I am, and it's like what? No, like that's just you forgetting that you have cranky knees. Like what are you talking about? And then I don't. Like you know what? I actually like her. I do. I think I like her. She's less confusing than Log Lady. Like at least I kind of get Nadine. She was like a high school loser, and now she's like with the jock, and she's happy about it. And she somehow got flashed back to that after taking the pills. That makes sense. I actually get that one. She. I kind of want to see what happened. I don't know why. Is it Ed that's with her?
Yeah,
Ed, yeah.
Like I don't know what he's gonna do now. Like he seems very confused, but I think it looks like he's like getting laid more than ever, so he's pretty happy about it. Like he's not openly complaining and like breaking away from her. So I guess that makes sense. If we're going with
and
possession,
you did find out how she got her eye patch.
we find out.
Which you didn't hear that part?
Yeah.
There's a line where it says why she's wearing an eye patch.
Oh, I thought she was just crazy. Could you guys repeat? There are things that literally are said on the show. I'm watching them and I'm like, I don't believe what you just said. I'm like, I have to not. So wait, what did she?
It's Ed says it.
It's it was buckshot that ricocheted and hit her in the eye.
Oh, like Dick Cheney.
Ed accidentally shot her in the
They
eye.
were hunting. Yeah.
Oh, they were hunting together.
Yeah, and it was like a piece of buckshot that ricocheted and hit her in the eye.
See, you do get answers.
And he
Rich.
says it right in front of Albert, and Albert's just like laughing because this is the most hick thing he's ever heard. And it's just so funny. Let's talk a little bit about Albert. We haven't really spoken too much about him. He was very upsettable in the first season. He was kind of just a huge dick. And now he is still that person, but you kind of look at him in a different light, or at least the show intends to portray him that way. And there's that one scene, I actually paused the play of that scene after it was done, where he grabs Harry by the shirt and he's just like, I love you, Sheriff Truman. I paused that and I was just like, what I would pay right now just to watch Rich experience this scene. I
literally started letting. I think this is why there are some gaps in my understanding. I watched everything. I think that there were just times where like you guys said let it go last week. So like I think even sometimes when I got angry, I was just like, all right, you gotta let it go. Like I don't know, man. Like you can't text them every 5 seconds. Like like what am I gonna do here? Like I gotta just go. So like I think when Ed told that story and the laughter happened, I was like, oh, no, it must mean it's not real. Like maybe that guy knows how it really happened. Like they were paramours before Ed came into the picture. Like I literally don't believe anything that anybody says. Like I need to see like a second time. Like,
See, that's
I'm
the thing.
basically Peter from the like
You
3 times.
need to believe everything that people say. That's the thing.
Yeah, you're going into this wrong.
Everybody is telling the truth.
What?
Unless it's Bobby. Bobby's the only one who like actively tells lies throughout the entire show.
I actually think Bobby says one of the greatest truths in the show, where during Laura's funeral, Bobby says, we killed Laura.
Yeah, no, he did.
So, like, I think there are times where he has these, like,
But
big
wait,
moments of truth.
that's not. But they killed her. I thought.
So at Laura's funeral, Bobby says, you're all wondering who killed Laura. It was all of us. We all knew something was wrong with her. So like with Laura, especially now that you find out what was going on with Leland, she was just a really troubled teen who was like acting out and doing crazy stuff because she was going through this like absolute horror tragedy at home. So she would like try to be a good person. So she was doing Meals on Wheels and tutoring Johnny and doing all these other things. But she also had this darker side of her to like get out, you know, all of these like horrible frustrations that she had.
So,
and everybody in the town kind of knew something was up with her.
but then that means
everybody
that
knew she was
that to me, especially with her age and knowing what we know about like child development, like that means that that's a DID, like that's when it happens, right? Like it happens in like late teens, early 20s, especially to young women. So like to me, that just further corroborates that the Bob thing is like it's like an old
The
school
issue with the
explanation
Bob
for
saying-
like because like, you know, in the past people would rather say they were possessed by a demon. My uncle was the possessed, you know, whatever. My sister was possessed, than say like
The issue with that theory is that Cooper makes it very clear that 3 or 4 people have seen this individual, and they were able to actually draw it, and other people could see this individual. So he is a physical or like parallel plane existence. Like he does exist.
Yeah, I think so they had that whole conversation at the end where they're talking about the validity of the story of Bob or the existence of Bob. And they're like, does this even matter? Like, can we all just walk away where you accept that it's schizophrenia or DID and I accept that Bob was real? And Cooper's like, no, we need to find out the truth because it's our responsibility to make sure this doesn't happen again. And then the next scene is like this weird, like crawling scene and then the owl. And that's like supposed to be you seeing Bob's soul traveling through the woods. Like he is still out there.
oh, that was like an okay, I just thought that was weird cinematic. I didn't know that that was like an Evil Dead possession type thing.
Yeah, it was like that scurrying thing was like the soul of Bob looking for a host.
They did make like a comment about owls, like don't trust the owls or something like
The
that.
owls are not what they seem.
That's what it is.
But yeah, we jumped away from Lucy a little too quickly because she has this whole.
Oh wait, can I say one other thing before we go back to Lucy?
Go ahead.
Like, speaking of like the owls aren't what they seem, you know, Rich was talking about Macbeth. And you're saying like in Macbeth that the mythology is super clearly explained, you know, how Banquo can also see the witches, so that further cements that the witches themselves are real and not in Macbeth's head. But you also have the weird mythology of the owls in Macbeth, where whenever something crazy is going on, the owls do react. The owls react to scenes of death. And you could interpret it as Lady Macbeth's, like, conscience.
Yeah.
Or it could be interpreted in other ways. But similarly, like, you have these owls that react to these horrible things going on. And I've often wondered if Lynch took that from Shakespeare. But I'm not sure. But that's that's a connection where it further kind of builds the magic? How would you say?
Mystique.
The mystique? All right, that's all I have to say.
Yeah, no, there's definitely like mystery that unfolds on top of the mystery. And part of the answer that you're going to get from this show is that you're not going to understand everything. And I don't think you're intended to. I don't think anyone has the answers for literally everything.
But I think there are a lot more answers
Correct.
than Rich is realizing.
Yes, and I think that I think you're throwing away the potential for there being meaning in the meaninglessness. Like, it does seem meaningless.
Do I get more? Okay, so we stopped at episode 9, which is a very kind of weird place. Well, I know that like storyline, it ends like Laura's kind of story. Will we get more in the rest of the season that makes things make more sense?
Yes and no. Like you do get more answers about the mythology of Twin Peaks. You're not going to get answers to everything, but you're going to learn more about everything, I guess, if that makes sense.
Well, in the Return series, you get more answers.
Right, but
and
I don't
in
know
Fire
that...
Walk With Me are like the days leading up to Laura's death, and it's from her perspective. And you get a lot of answers as far as like well, I don't want to say too much, but you get a lot of answers. Like when I watched Fire Walk with Me, it's actually a really difficult watch. It's not like cute and funny, but I felt like I understood the plot a lot better after watching Fire Walk with Me. I don't remember exactly what gave me that impression, but afterwards I was like, oh, this really does all connect in a way. Yeah. But like Anthony said, though, like Anthony made a really good point where you kind of need to just like, it's not that you need to let go and not accept the realities of like what you're seeing, but a lot of it kind of, it's like a subconscious experience where like you start to become aware of things without it being like spelled out for you, if that makes sense.
It does and it doesn't, but that's part of the the beauty of the show. Yeah,
the show is like math. I'm sure it makes sense to a whole lot of people, but I don't know how the cosecant's going to help me write my English lesson plan. I want to know more. Like I do want to know more. I'm just scared at how I'm going to try to find it because it's. And I mean, I don't know if I've spoken about this before, but on a personal level, like, I don't know if I believe in demonic possession or possession of any kind. I mean, I just watched Stranger Things. I understand that the dichotomy is weird. But, like, I accepted Twin Peaks to be a real world, right? Like, from the beginning. And it's almost like I wonder if Lynch, like, did he always feel like he was going to go here? That pilot episode does not lead you down a path that makes you think that we're going to see this kind of stuff.
I totally get that. But again, just because the pilot doesn't introduce every concept that exists in the world doesn't mean that they can't introduce horses in living rooms.
But why'd you go there, man? Like you had me, and then you say horse in living room. Because why is she seeing a horse? Is she like possessed by like?
She also was like drugged that night by Leland, and this was her like. Wasn't this after she was drugged?
Well, she was, but we're saying two different things now. Previously, we were saying you just got to accept everything that's happening on screen, and now you're saying not to accept that because she might have been on drugs. No. You gotta accept.
I don't know about the horse.
I actually don't remember about the horse. If there's an answer or not,
she just collapses.
I think David Lynch was like, "This is cinematic, and we're just gonna put this horse in this living room."
What's up?
How do you get the horse in the living room?
My thing is that like a perfect example of like why you can't go into the show with logic is the fact that by the backgrounds, you know, the weird scene with
the Black Lodge,
right? That both Cooper and Laura had that same dream. They had the exact same dream, but from two different perspectives. She saw Cooper, and you know he was an old man, and she didn't know who he was. But Cooper went in knowing that was Laura, and that she was trying to. There was some like crazy disconnect where she was trying to talk to him, but she recognized that she was talking weird also, and that she tried to whisper in his ear that her father killed her.
Yeah.
It's a whole lot of crazy, but I'm just like, all right, I guess so. She had
that dream before like her actual death. So for her, it was like a premonition. For him, he was like going back in time and experiencing her dream.
And it also shows like when they're in the Black Lodge, it's disconnected with our time. Like the Black Lodge's time is different. Like you can access it at different portals, I guess. Like I don't know if portals is the right word. But think of it, Rich, too, like if you're like, okay, I believe in like the Force in Star Wars. It's almost like we're experiencing the world of Star Wars from Han Solo's perspective, where he doesn't believe at first. And he starts seeing like odd stuff. And it's like, it takes him a while before he accepts it. Oh. We don't get him to admit that he accepts it until Force Awakens. Do you see how it's like from different perspectives? Like you could live in a world where magical things happen, but it could be happening around you. And when we say like possession, like we're not talking about like actual angels or demons and like the Christian faith or like that mentality. This is a completely separate mythos. This is a completely different, like the Black Lodge is not supposed to be heaven or hell. It's a completely different place. Almost think of it as like the Upside Down, where like all of those kids are living on our planet in our time.
And I think there actually is without spoiling anything, I think in a way there's actually a pretty close link in terms of how the Upside Down exists and how the Black Lodge exists, if I remember correctly, from The Return.
You know, the Han Solo explanation, I'm like Han here. Our hokey religion, the ancient weapons are no match for a blast to your side, kid. I've been one side of the galaxy to the other, and I don't think there's any special force controlling me, right? Like, I guess that's where I am. I'm full Han right off the bat because, yeah, I guess I need to be. I love diving into fantasy. I do. I get like if I were watching like I'm trying to think Psych. I love Psych, right? And then if suddenly Psych had like some sort of magical element, I'd be like, what are you doing? You know, like so. It's just I think I was. Yeah, I think I'm just I'm disgruntled, all the gruntles. But I think that as we go, I think seeing it from that way makes a little bit more sense. But God forbid I would have watched guys disaster upon disaster. I'm glad I watched episode 8 of season 1. If I would have watched the first 7 minutes of season 2 by mistake, I wouldn't be with you guys right now. Like I would have been off the show. Like, oh well, Rich bowed out. He doesn't know what's happening anymore. He's given up on the show.
Jen, you mentioned last week that you read a book by David Lynch about being creative and transcendental meditation and stuff like that. And he goes into his creative process. And this is when I realized, oh, this is an insane person that got really, really famous. This is how he makes movies or comes up with the ideas for a movie. He meditates every morning. He did that every day of his life for a long time. And then he writes down scenes, 30 scenes on index cards. They don't have anything to do with one another. No. There is no characters involved in these scenes.
Stop.
30
That's not real.
Random things. I'm telling you, this is something that he said. And that is his movie.
And then he finds like ways to very loosely connect.
He's Cooper. He's like, I'm Cooper. Yes. I'm just gonna have a dream, and it was put it together, and it's gonna work and make sense. That's why this doesn't work. That's why this is so confusing, guys. My man had creative capital of the manatees in South Park that when they were making fun of Family Guy, just rolling a ball up, 3 balls. Here we go, connect them, make them count. Look,
so Dakota and I both read David Lynch's book, and my takeaway was, I think this guy is brilliant. I think he's a genius. And I was so like shocked and disappointed when I talked to Dakota after we both read it, and he was like, so like this is just a psycho who got famous, right? And I was like, what?
No, I said I think my words were, I'm really happy for him, because if this didn't work out for him, he would be on the street. I'm serious. Like, it's so crazy, but it works. It's so.
I love him so much.
It's absurdism, and I think that is probably the
on
best
a side
way
note. I'm just putting it out there. I'm not watching Dune over my dead body. All right,
Dune.
This might be the last David Lynch. I don't like. We're gonna need to take a break. Like from. I don't know if I could watch. If Dune is this crazy.
No, it's not. Dune is
like based on an actual like book.
Yeah.
So his dreams.
So Dune is definitely his most like Hollywood esque movie, but it still has David Lynch in it.
Yeah, he still fits some influence in there for sure. There's some moments where I'm just like, huh? So Rich, did you see that the man himself was in the show? David Lynch was in it. David Lynch was in there.
Who?
You remind me of a small Mexican chihuahua.
That was him?
Yeah,
he was that like guy that was hard of hearing.
Wait, the guy with not the agent with the constant hair. Okay,
that's him.
He's hard of hearing. What does he have? Some sort of ancient like technology? And why does everyone still have to yell at him? Like, I thought that hearing aids were supposed to help, but they don't even look like I don't. Is it just an older form? I mean, I know I had a student who had a little speaker or microphone that he would give me, and like he went to his headphones or something, so I would have to like speak into it so he could hear me because he was hard of hearing. But then I just whispered to him that he should like kick his classmates. Like, I'd just be in the middle of a lesson. I'm like, yeah, so here you can see that Macbeth, he's really going down the wrong path. Could you kick TJ right now? And after about 2 weeks, he just gave me back the thing. And he's like, don't do this. He's that weird agent who shows up
Yeah, that's one of the creators of the show.
You're gonna see more of him.
Yeah,
It's
no,
very
he's
exciting.
definitely a character.
Why is that guy
You might
show
even-
up and then the other guy come? Then I'm gonna call him Stu. I don't think his name is Stu, but the other agent with the pronounced
Albert?
what's his name?
Albert, like the angry?
Yeah, Albert. So why is it that David Lynch comes in if Albert's already there? He seems like he's coming in to check on somebody getting hurt.
He's introducing a new plot line.
Oh, okay.
Where like they mention Wyndham Earl. You don't know anything about that yet, but that's like something that's going to be relevant. So David Lynch's character is there to kind of segue after they resolve the mystery of Laura Palmer, what the rest of the season's going to be about.
Oh yeah, they mention him. Did they mention him last season, Wyndham Earl?
Yes. Before he gets shot, Albert says Wyndham Earl's like
Missing.
is missing or something like that.
Well, he had brought up Wyndham Earl, and then Cooper was like, "Oh, wasn't he retired?" And Albert said, like, "Yeah, like retired to like a loony bin, pretty much."
Yeah, we haven't experienced crazy people yet.
It hasn't gotten crazy yet.
One, there. What's amazing about this show is that there are all these crazy things happening, but there are moments of real sincerity that characters share. At first, it might seem like it's meant to be played off as either comical, but as the scene goes on, you start to realize, wait, these characters are like seriously, trying to reach each other's hearts or something. And there's one great scene, it's one of my favorite scenes in the entire show, where Bobby's father, Major Briggs, sits him down at the table at the Double R Diner, and he just talks about a dream that he had of his son. And it's just played straight, and Bobby ends up tearing up because it's like the first time that he's connecting to his father as an adult. And it's such a good scene. And you don't really understand it. You have no idea what these two characters are really trying to, like, how they're bridging that gap, what the dream means or anything. But it's really just I think it's a really just beautiful scene. Whenever I watch it, I just like I'm glued to the TV because it's so well done.
Huh. I thought that the father was sadly delusional in that scene. I was surprised that Bobby got emotional because I just think that Bobby, personally, he's very one-dimensional to me. I don't see him as layered. I thought that any layer that he has is fake or put upon. He doesn't seem to care for anybody, so I wasn't sure if his reaction to his dad's story is trying to ingratiate himself with his dad, or maybe it was a moment of him actually being a real human and reacting to his father.
And I think that's what it was supposed to be. Yeah, I think...
Because afterward, I don't feel like he
doesn't change too much as a character after that, but it's one of those like moments where his armor breaks.
Yeah.
And he's no longer just like the angsty teen in the room. He's actually having a heart-to-heart with his father, whom he obviously loves. But teens that age, especially, ones with that much anger, have a very hard time actually connecting to their fathers. But, speaking of Major Briggs, he's one of the more interesting characters in the show because we also get the idea he comes to Cooper shortly after the giant and tells him basically that, and the log lady tells him to deliver the message. And he does. He delivers it to Cooper that he is intercepting deep space messaging or relays from a distant galaxy. And all of a sudden, it just started saying something about Cooper and something about the owls. The owls are not what they seem. So something from another galaxy was spoken to Cooper at that moment. And that's when they got that deep space relay. The owls are not what they seem. So there's an extra layer there. And that's part of what I mean when I say, like, it's closer to Stranger Things than you might think. Because you have this military it is a military branch thing that's trying to understand something about what's going on in this town. So there's an extra layer of like that in the show that we don't fully comprehend yet.
Can I defend Bobby Briggs?
Go for it.
because I disagree with Rich's statements on Bobby Briggs. I think he's just like, yeah, he's like an angsty teen, but there's like a few times where we see him show like real vulnerability. The time with his dad was one of them. The other time was Laura's funeral, where he takes personal accountability for Laura's death because he knew that she was troubled and that she had secrets and she clearly had trauma she was going through, and he didn't do anything to actually help her. He just like let her convince him to sell drugs for her. So he was enabling her addiction, which he felt really guilty about. And then there's the other scene where he meets with the therapist and he starts crying, talking about Laura's death and how, again, he has like a sense of accountability for her death and guilt. He's really annoying, and they like have him act like such an annoying jock. But I do think there is a better side to him that after that conversation with his dad, I think that's a turning point for his character.
Does that conversation happen? And I'm not just trying to be pedantic. Does that happen before or after they're like partying with Leo in the wheelchair?
That was before.
So
Yeah.
he has
I
that
like the
conversation
scenes
with his
over
dad,
there.
and then he's like, you know what? Paraplegic, in a almost like a comatose state. Cool. We're just gonna like party up around you, bro.
Insurance fraud.
It's like
Yeah, that's
snorting
That seems
lines.
like
Okay,
inspiration
fine,
for Forrest
fine.
Gump.
I guess I didn't buy. I guess I'm the therapist. I thought he was like, I consider Bobby to be evil, right, or strong, or like Sean from Boy Meets World. Like he's got great hair,
Oh yeah, actually.
but none of the niceness.
Yeah.
You know, got the cool leather jacket, the swoosh hair. You know, like great stuff going on there. But I guess maybe as a teacher of seniors, I should be more forgiving to teenagers behaving badly. But you know what? I don't see them behaving. To be fair, I only see them 40 minutes a day, and I think they're great kids, and I love them, and I only see the best in them. And I don't ask what they do outside of school. So maybe I'm teaching like 17 Bobbies. Who knows?
I feel like when we taught together, we taught a couple Bobbies. And we love those
Yeah,
kids.
actually, I do love the Bobby. But you know what? Yeah, I think I need to spend more time with Bobby. Like, probably if he invited me over to the house for the party around Leo, like, I might be cool with him, you know? If he gave me some free stuff, like, I mean, we'd definitely be cool, you know? Like, let's go.
No shoes.
I love when
No
like
shoes.
writers do that, where there's like a really bad character and they get an ending that is so horrific that it's like, wow, did they even deserve that? Where it's like, we obviously were afraid of Leo and thought he was the worst guy ever. And then like this horrible thing happens to him and it's like, man, human nature is like, you still don't want to see anybody go through that.
No, you hit a woman. You deserve what you get. Sorry. Maybe it's a hot
Deserve to
take
be
in
a paraplegic.
2026, but like I'm sorry. Like I actually told the kids, the students today, we were talking about like, I was talking about like what is one way in like Revenge of the Sith, right? I hate that Padme gets painted to be like such a strong character, and then at the end, like she loses her will to live because her man turned evil. And I said, I think that like what George Lucas missed the point on here is that everybody, like universally, once you see a character, like a male character hit a female character, like that's now they're a bad guy, right? Like it happens in wrestling. A guy's a good guy, and then like, you know, all he has to do is hit a woman, and boom, everyone hates him. Like
Wait, in wrestling you can't like male.
well, like there was like a
fighters
male wrestler that I really like thought was funny, and I thought he was better as a bad guy. He starts he starts dating a girl, and he's like, you know, in love with her, so he's nice now. And I looked at Lauren one day, my wife, and I said, you know, if they want to make him a bad guy, he's got to like attack her right now. And she's like, Rich, what are you talking about? And then boom, he attacks her. And I was like, yes! And she's like, what? And I'm like, well, now he's a bad guy. Everyone's booing him. You can't come back from that. I thought that Leo got his just desserts. Because he didn't do it once. It wasn't like once and he was drunk. I'm not saying that domestic abuse is okay if you're under the influence. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying I could understand. I think that Leo's actions repeatedly towards Shelley.
That boy ain't right. Anthony, do you think Leo got what he deserves, or is it a fate too bad even for him? Would you rather just him die?
That man he's pretty much like imprisoned in his own body, you know? So it's, man, yeah, this is that's a tough one, because it's like is he even really living? I mean, this man is like brain dead.
Was Shelley living when she was under his thumb?
Though actually, one of the parts that like made me laugh during like the like whole Leo thing was when that one guy came over and he was setting up that like patient lift, and like he was like he was like swinging around in it. Dude, it was like there's just like moments like that happen in the show that just catch you. No, it's that's crazy. I wonder, like, are we gonna be getting more of that later in the season, or like more Leo stuff?
I think so. It's been a minute since I've seen it, but I don't think his. I mean, I'm pretty sure his story is over, but I think his presence is still.
I actually don't remember.
I don't remember either. But there's so many characters in this show that it's hard to actually like touch on everything. One thing I will say that I dislike about this season is the whole arc with I think his name is Harold, the horticulturist, who is like a homebody and never leaves, and Donna repeatedly tries to steal Laura's secret diary from this guy to the point where he kills himself, and Donna's just like, or no, James is just like, it's not your fault, and it's absolutely her fault. Like,
Yeah, right.
I hated that. I was like, Donna, go turn yourself in. This is terrible.
Or like something bad happens at one point, and he's like, James goes like, I can't do this anymore. And somehow she immediately goes, what? Us? And I'm like, how did you come to that conclusion? And then he goes, yeah, us. And I'm like, how did you? I think they just found out that Maddie was dead. He's like, I can't do this anymore. I thought it was like deal with death. And like she immediately knew it meant like they're through. Like, what? James, I just want to punch him in the forehead like 1,000 times. I want to hit him the way that the principal in Back to the Future, all right, hits George. Hello, or no, or is it Biff? Hello, McFly. It's just like I want to knock on his head. The only person who I think is dumber than him in the entire series is your balding police guy, Lucy's boy,
Andy.
Yes.
And
Also, like the juxtaposition of the two guys sitting next to each other, one with fabulous hair and style, and the other with whatever he's got going on, but then like, yeah, it's your baby, whatever you want. Cigarette smoke.
Yo, I like Hawk.
You do?
That man came in clutch during.
Oh yeah, when they were saving Audrey.
Christian?
What happened?
Is that his name? The well-dressed man, Christian, or
shut
Hawk?
up.
Okay.
Yeah, so he came in clutch when they were saving Audrey, right?
Yeah. There was that whole part where Audrey was being held. She's being held hostage. Yeah, at One Eye Jack's.
I do love that.
Yeah, I actually love Hawk too. Hawk's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah. No, he's cool. I like Hawk. I like Harry a lot too, actually. Like both the main characters, but obviously Cooper. I like Cooper. He's an oddball, but like he's not odder than all this other stuff that's going on around him.
One thing I liked about Hawk, actually, in the final episode was how he reacted around Bob. I was like paying attention to him and his...
Wait, I'm confused. I think we're confusing. Hawk the well-dressed man who slept with Lucy?
No, that's Dick Tremaine.
That's who I'm talking about. I meant like when they were sitting together and then Tremaine was smoking the cigarette.
Hawk is the Native American.
Oh no, yeah, no, I love Hawk. No. So I think you guys misheard. I was talking about that
Dick
guy
Tremaine.
and how I dislike him smoking a cigarette when he's like, yeah, it's your baby. And then he just takes a deep drag of cigarette in a room with a closed door. You know, like if you're gonna smoke around a pregnant lady, at least open the window. You know.
Yeah. So the scene with Hawk at the end when he's talking to, or like when Bob is, you know, like yelling in the police station through Leland. If you look at Hawk's reaction, like he's like staying really far away from Leland. And to any other person that would just be, you know, typical fear, but the rest of the cast isn't necessarily doing that. But for him as a character, being Native American and having there's a, you know, the very strong mythology within Native American culture of skinwalkers, you know, like that would be very freaky for him.
Is Bob like a
know?
Sioux entity?
I can't answer that at this stage.
Oh.
Yeah, I was thinking that same thing, that, yeah, with Hawk being Native American and then with all of the, you know, like the lore of, you know, what's in the wilderness of Twin Peaks, I can imagine that and he might have even been witnessing, like, who knows, like, what he actually saw, because he might be sensitive to the craziness of that world, That's why he's
Like the
But
log.
then,
yeah.
why not name?
Yeah, exactly.
Why not name? If you're David Lynch, and you want us to maybe consider that this is tied to some sort of Native American.
All right, I said I can't.
No. My thing. Name
I
him
don't-
Dakota. Like
I don't-
Dakota makes more sense than Bob. Like I'd be like, oh, Dakota. It's probably a Native American spirit or like a wolf.
Bob and Mike.
But I wouldn't think
It's just Bob and Mike.
I think part of my problem is that it's Bob. Bob, like Mike. They just
That was the best part. I thought it was hilarious that it was named Bob.
like if it was Mario.
What's the story about like how they cast Bob? I know you know it, Jen.
So basically, David Lynch was on the set, and the guy who plays Bob was working on the set. He wasn't like working in this as an actor. And David Lynch saw him doing something, and he was like, the visual of this man made him think, I need to write him as a character. And so the first scene where we see Bob, he's like behind the bars of the like bedpost, because he saw that guy and was like, this guy looks like he could be my main villain, actually. Which I don't know if you should take it as a compliment, that actor. But like David Lynch literally said, hey,
this guy looks like a killer.
he literally saw that guy and was like, I want to see him be a creep behind the bedpost bars. And so he put him there, and he was like, this is perfect. Like, it all is coming together, And yeah, so he asked the guy, like, are you an actor? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, you're going to be in the movie, which I thought was really weird that he called it a movie. I don't know if the pilot was supposed to be a movie at first. I'm really not sure about that. And maybe it didn't get picked up as a movie and they turned it into a show. That's something I've been wondering and I kept meaning to look up.
Yeah, I don't remember. But yeah, there's so much that happens in this series, and I feel like we've barely scratched the surface on, like, I keep thinking of whole characters that we just haven't mentioned that are worth mentioning.
Mention one.
We haven't mentioned Hank, Norma, Josie.
I think Josie's the one that actually...
Mr. Lee. Go ahead.
I would like to hear...
Mr. Tajimura. What were you going to say?
I would like to hear Anthony's reaction to Josie's plotline. What did you think of the ending of, Josie leaving?
Yeah, it was kind of sudden, but...
I mean, there's not really anything
The index card probably fell away. Like, he just lost that index card, so we didn't have a connecting scene to explain what the hell happened.
Love it.
But I like that they had that whole thing, and then for some reason, Catherine decided to disguise herself as an Asian man.
If you're gonna fake your death, why not come back as an Asian man?
Mr. Tajimura.
The voice.
I don't know why.
I don't think that could be done today.
No, absolutely
Definitely not.
The whole Josie thing, it's just how. And then Harry's like, "What? You're leaving?" And she's like, "Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, like I'm out."
Oh yeah, and the whole reason why Leo is in a wheelchair because Hank shot him. Really, it was to keep him quiet, right? Like just because he knew too much.
Like Hank was supposed. Wait, okay, I think I know this part. When Hank went to prison, he had been the major dealer. He left Theo in charge to be the distributor when he was gone. And when he came back, he felt that Theo had handed it off to Bobby and kind of let things slip. So he was putting Leo in place. Am I right there? Or he was taking his job back from Leo.
I feel like you thought about that a lot more than I did. I just was I also was under the impression that that Hank was working for Ben Horn. And Ben Horn met up with, what was the one brother from One-Eyed Jacks?
Jean Reno.
Jean Reno, not the oldest one, but the younger one.
Yeah.
He met with them, so I think it was kind of
Jacques Reno.
Yeah, Jacques. Ben met up with Jacques, and Ben was kind of dipping his toes a little more aggressively into whatever they had going on. Obviously, he was doing business with them because he was keeping Blackie addicted to heroin and probably a lot of the other girls in there.
She was a lot better looking beforehand. She used to be so beautiful.
They're so mean.
But it's pretty great, and like, I do love the telltale heroine giant rubber tie that has to appear in movies to signify that it's heroin. It's just like so like at your desk at work, you know like you open my desk at work, you find forks, you find like lots of soy sauce, lots of ketchup. There's not one band for me to tie my arm and shoot up, but I don't work at a whorehouse.
That's like probably a good thing.
I'll tell you guys if that changes.
That is a good thing.
Oh yeah, and then there's like the whole thing with Hank and Norma's mother's new husband, that they were in prison together.
Let's not even go like that. There's just way too many characters, and it's not
and then they were hinting that Norma's mom is the food critic.
Yeah, I think that's actually what I remember. Like they were talking about like E.M. White or something like that. I think that Hank's or Norma's mom is the food critic.
That would have been good. I thought that like they were so like paranoid. They thought the DA was maybe the critic, and then Catherine.
Catherine is Mr. Tajimura.
I can't not think about that character and laugh. Like not laugh. It's the character was a so caricature.
Absurd. Yeah, literally a caricature. All right, we are entering an hour and 30-minute mark on the podcast. We got to cut it because it is getting late, and I think we're just talking in circles at this point. But before we close out our discussion, I think we need to remember something very important. Leland, he died horribly. In a way, I wouldn't want to die. I wouldn't want to go bashing my head into a metal door. The juice that flowed from him, it was way too much. It was so juicy that he ended up bleeding out and dying. While that is bad, the segue that I'm trying to get at here, people, is that we need juicy reviews. We need juicy 5-star reviews from you. Wherever you listen to your podcast, please be sure to make it 5 stars. It's always got to be juicy, potentially crunchy, depending on, your proclivities that day. But anyway, thank you so much for listening to us here for our 148th episode of Project Ecology. Before we close out, what did we think of these 9 episodes? So we're going to go with Rich last. Anthony.
And I'm going to say, and I know Rich will agree, that I think that this was, an interesting time. Sometimes it was, even a rip-roaring good time. And, I'm interested to see what else they have to say about the story, because, the whole reason why the story began was solved. So it's like, okay, what else do we need to hear? So I'm definitely interested to see, how that goes. And then I guess, to learn more about the Black Lodge. I know that that's something that they'll explain a little bit more. So yeah, I don't know. I like it. I see why. I see the appeal. I see the draw. Sometimes you just gotta turn off your brain just a little bit and just enjoy the ride.
Yeah, you gotta be moved by the spectacle. Jen?
I mean, I love Twin Peaks. I think Anthony's getting it. Like, Anthony and I are on the same wavelength here. Or if you approach it in like a subconscious way, almost like in a dreamlike state, and just embrace it, you'll get the answers eventually. Like the Giant says, you have to like kind of let the answers come to you. You don't seek them out. You just let them approach, and then you get your ring in the end, and you're like, I got it. I understand. But I really like that at the end of the day, Twin Peaks, like sometimes in the news, we see just horrible atrocities happening in the world. And like, we're like, how could anybody do that? How could this ever happen? And he created kind of this weird, like mythological explanation for a really horribly crappy event. I think that's interesting. I like the realism of it, because it's like you actually like, I feel so bad for Laura. I feel like she's got this like really terrible life experience that unfortunately a lot of women have experienced. But then it's this like pleasant campy show, and then it's really scary and horror at other times. It doesn't stick to a genre. You're on a whirlwind of emotions on a bunch of different scenes.
Right, and it has like this touch of paranormal to it that it's like, okay, yeah, like let's just do all the genres.
All the genres.
Just like in life. They got the musical in there. You got Leland doing his song and dance, and
it's everything. I think the third season is definitely the scariest for me. That's where they really lean into like the scariness, the spookiness. Whereas I feel like the second season is in the mid-range. Like you still have the campy fun, but it's a lot spookier than the first season for sure.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So that's gonna be this next part is where it's gonna get a little bit more creepy.
So she's a little bit. It's still going to be kooky and strange and kind of lovable for the rest of season 2. But if we decide to go the route of watching Twin Peaks: The Return, which takes place 25 years later, it still has all the Twin Peaks elements that are great and fun and everything, but it is scarier for sure.
I think the effects and all of that are a lot better because it's 25 years later.
Of course,
so
yeah.
David Lynch, I feel like, as far as the technology goes, he had a lot more to play with, but he also didn't have, I don't know if did his partner work with him on that? Or was that him on his own?
I don't recall.
I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, as far as what I think, I'm kind of on the same wavelength as Jen. I kind of feel like Ben Wyatt in Parks and Rec, you know, like when he says that going back to watch the ending of Twin Peaks, everything just comes together. I really think that this is all going to come together in a meaningful way. And I think you guys are in for a good time. Are we doing the remainder of Twin Peaks season 2 next week?
Well, Rich.
I would honestly quit the show.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, I would quit the. If
Okay,
you
perfect.
made me
Just to
stop
make sure.
now, I'd quit the show. Like I would never talk. Forget about the show. I wouldn't talk to any of you people ever again. Like this has to be finished.
Actually, next season it's gonna be Rings of Power season 3 preamble. So, you know, even though like it's not even coming out anytime soon, we're gonna talk about it next week, and then we'll go back to
I mean,
Twin
you know, I
Peaks.
could do that,
There we
right? I'm very excited. I've watched the second season of Rings of Power 6 times now. Like I am.
Oh my god.
I am so ready for season 3. Yeah, I guess I'll. You guys
Well,
know how I
speaking of
feel.
season
I know
2,
what
what
to
did you
say.
think
Like,
of...
I mean,
Speaking of Rings of Power season 2, what did you think of Twin Peaks season 2, the first 9 episodes?
I would say MCU worse than Secret Invasion. You know what? Actually, that might be a real comparable. You're just like give up on expectations and genre expectations. I think I like to be. I do. I think I'm a viewer who likes to. I study patterns. I study tropes. I study themes, and I like to see them logically unfurl. And my man Dave doesn't want me to do that, right? So I'm just gonna have to keep going. Like I need to know the ending now, right? Like again, if I'm just gonna tell you right now, if I don't find out who Diane is really soon, there's gonna be some problems between the 4 of us. All right, like I need to know who that Diane is. Okay, I have been patient. I have not read any Wikipedias. I have not read Reddit. I have not watched forward. I have stayed where you guys want me, but I need to know
Answers
who
are
Diane
coming,
is.
my friend. Answers are coming.
So we're going to the end of 22?
Yes, we're finishing season 2 of Twin Peaks.
And then I'll like you guys determine if you want to.
Yeah, then we determine if we want
what you
to
wanna
continue with Fire Walk with Me or The Return or anything after that point. But at least you will have watched the complete Twin Peaks broadcast.
I don't even know if an episode.
What do you mean we wouldn't
done
watch the whole
on
thing,
Fire
guys?
Walk with Me.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Bob like stepped in. I guess I believe now. I don't know. Bob just took me over, guys. I don't know what happened.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening to us here for episode 148. We had a good time. I had a lot of laughs here. And we will see you next week for the completion of season 2 of Twin Peaks for our 149th episode. We're going to have to figure out something good for 150. Anyway, adios.
Bye.
Bye.
It is happening again.
Wait, why is it happening again? Like, what is this?
Somehow Palpatine returned?